Hey guys, Eber here with HardwareCanucks, and in a world of gaming headsets, there are so many different options, it's sometimes hard to choose the right product for your needs. Do you prefer corded, cordless, stereo, or a surround sound setup? Is portability necessary? Those are some of the questions that need to be asked before making a decision. Logitech already has headphones that fit nearly every single need, but now they're adding a new set to their lineup. This is the G533 wireless gaming headset, and at $150, it is meant to offer an alternative for people who don't want to spend nearly $200 on the expensive Artemis Spectrum, yet still want virtual 7.1 surround sound. Personally, I've never owned a virtual surround sound headset simply because the ones I've tried in the past failed to live up to my expectations. But can the G533 with its licensed Dolby DTS Headphone X features change my mind? Let's find out after a message from our sponsor.
Oh, hey there. NCX.com is Canada's leading e-tailer for anything your mind desires. Just keep within those categories, which are plenty, and get tempted by their weekly deals. Visit NCX.com for all them sweet deals.
Wireless gaming headsets are slowly starting to gain momentum within the gaming community because the convenience of cordless access to audio is so tempting. It isn't inexpensive though, and with the G533 retailing for about $150, it finds itself amongst some interesting competition. There's the SteelSeries Siberia 800 that retails for $300, the Razer Manowar for $170, and Logitech's own flagship headset, the G933 wireless for $200. And let's be honest here, the G533 is similarly priced to the wired 7.1 G633, but it's lacking a few of that headset's aesthetic features. Our review video link will be posted in the description if you're interested. By looking closer at the G533, it should be obvious this is Logitech's entry-level wireless surround sound gaming headset. While it has many of the G933 Artemis Spectrum's features like DTS Headphone X, Pro G drivers, and a 2.4 GHz single band, things like RGB lighting and the programmable G keys have been removed. Basically, this is a simpler take on a proven formula that suits me just fine since I'm not a big fan of RGB lighting on a headset. The G533 is mostly made out of plastic materials, which is definitely not a bad thing because this maintains the lightweight structure that I prefer on any gaming headset. Although the glossy finish on the outside of the ear cups attracts fingerprints like a champ, so be mindful of that. The sports mesh material on the ear pads have plenty of cushioning to prevent your ears from making contact with the drivers, and it's designed to circulate air rather than capturing it. The same applies for the headband, which was pretty comfortable during my testing. The pads are also washable, which is awesome, and over my course of testing the G533, I didn't experience any sort of head fatigue because the clamping force was just perfect for my taste. The ear cups can rotate 90 degrees, and if you know me well, I love this feature because when I'm resting these around my neck, having them laid out flat gives me more room to move my head around. The adjustable metal sliders are defined with 14 individual steps for precise adjustments so they can fit large size heads without a problem. The microphone is retractable and it also features a slight extension for maneuverability. What's interesting about this boom mic is that they've attached a small pop filter on top of the mic to prevent it from picking up breath noise and popping, and it works excellent. Plus, Logitech has also implemented noise cancelling characteristics to eliminate background noise, and as you can hear, it does a pretty good job doing that. For example, when I'm typing on a mechanical keyboard, mind you, these are Cherry MX Blue switches, so they do exhibit quite a bit of noise. The mic barely picks it up without overpowering my voice, so that's pretty cool. But judging the sound quality, it's passable in my opinion. It's definitely not one of the best, but if you pay close attention to the audio levels, my voice and the background noise sound almost similar, so Logitech hasn't done anything to give emphasis on vocals, which is disappointing because I was expecting something closer to the Revolver headset from HyperX, which has one of the best microphones that I've tried recently. The headset also features side tone that lets you monitor your voice as you're speaking through the mic, which is pretty cool. Logitech hasn't implemented a ton of macro buttons like what's found on the G933 and G633, but there's a simply on-off switch to enable the wireless mode and a button that's set to function as a mute command by default. You can actually remap this button to perform other tasks through the driver software that I'll get to in a moment. Right beneath is where you'll find the volume dial that has very light steps for quick volume adjustments, or if you'd like to perform that precisely, this dial does it in 2-step intervals. One major advantage of not having 10 buttons behind the headset is that you don't have to spend too much time figuring out controls, and from my experience, on-the-fly adjustments were perfect. Logitech has one of the best driver softwares in the market, no questions asked. If you own a Logitech gaming peripheral, this would be a plug-and-play method for you because it's a unified software for all of their peripherals. In my case, I'm greeted with a physical overview of the headset. The G key can be programmed right here with any command of your choice. Thankfully, Logitech has a handful of pre-programmed commands that users can take advantage of. You can monitor battery levels, and if you'd like to play around with the equalizer, you're more than welcome to do that inside the software. As you can see towards the left, you can choose between 6 different presets. And finally, the 7.1 surround sound tab lets you enable this feature, but do note that you can assign this to the G key. Either way, this allows the user to adjust the volume levels of the 7 audio channels, plus there are certain presets for the surround mode. Regular stereo mode is selectable too, and that's an absolute necessity when listening to music. All in all, great stuff, Logitech. Now moving on to sound quality, and I have to say this thing surprised me. Now remember, headphone reviews are typically subjective, so opinions are purely from my own perspective. With that being said, I thoroughly enjoyed my experience with the G533. A few weeks back I reviewed a $100 gaming headset from Cooler Master, and they sounded terrible for the price, but man, switching back to the G533 took a whole new turn. Logitech has always been known for their fantastic Pro G drivers, and this one does not disappoint. I tested games by enabling the DTS headphone surround sound mode, and let me tell you, I have never experienced virtual 7.1 surround sound like this. A perfect example would be Battlefield 1, which has a built-in sound preset specifically designed for the Logitech Pro G drivers, and it's interesting how they were able to simulate a virtual 3D environment with just 2 drivers on the headset. I could hear gunshots a lot closer, and given the excellent bass response from these drivers, the gunshots themselves felt powerful. Just walking through certain locations in-game gave me a clear representation of positional awareness, which is excellent because you can hear footsteps 10 to 20 meters behind you, and if they happen to be your enemy, you can easily position yourself and target them instantly. High frequency sounded fantastic without any distortions, and honestly, I wouldn't hesitate using these pair for listening to music. However, I would switch back to the stereo mode just for that purpose. But regardless, it was a beautiful experience, especially since I'm a newbie to proper virtual surround sound. Battery life was just as expected given the no RGB nonsense. I was easily able to get it throughout a day with continuous music listening and a little bit of gaming. Expect just under 15 hours of usage, which should be more than enough to get you through a LAN party. The built-in battery is user replaceable and it can be recharged through the micro USB port. Appropriate cables are provided in the box. The G533 connects to your PC through a USB-powered wireless receiver, and according to Logitech, it's supposed to offer lossless digital audio transmission with up to 15 meters of range, and I'm happy to report I had no issues with signal loss in my office. The range was very strong even at my kitchen downstairs, considering my house is about 1,500 square feet. Unfortunately, the gaming headset can only be used in wireless mode. The included micro USB cable is only used for charging and updating the firmware on the headset, so be mindful of that. To conclude, the G533 from Logitech has delivered a fantastic wireless audio gaming experience in both stereo and surround modes. Like I said in the beginning, wireless audio is a tempting yet expensive route to take. However, given that these exhibit an excellent soundstage, not just for gaming, but also for listening to tunes, and if you have the money, they are a very good investment. Unfortunately, the microphone is definitely one of its weakest points, but it's still passable, so just keep that in mind when you're using the G533 for competitive gaming. Speaking of feedback, I want to hear your thoughts on wireless gaming headsets. Is it something that you're interested in? Plus, what do you guys think of the G533 from Logitech? Leave a comment down below and I'll make sure to check them out. I'm Ibar with HardwareCanucks. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.